enlighten. Welcome to the Good Info Cafe, where multiple intelligences meet each day. And today, or tonight, it's a nighttime. We're going to talk about lesson number 3. The overall picture is information, and quantum information physicist says that you can't separate information and reality. I butchered that quote. I'll actually look it up at some point. In my book, he gave me permission to quote him in my book, so I'll look that up. But he's basically saying the fundamental unit in existence, in the universe, all that is seen and unseen, is information. So whatever the most fundamental, the quark, or whatever is supposed to be the smallest unit, that has a blueprint, and that blueprint means information, and that's more fundamental. So information is the most fundamental unit in the universe, or all that is seen and unseen. So that's information, is the big picture. Then today, for lesson 3, we're going to talk about information literacy action processor, which does deal with information literacy and action literacy together. And then there you see the world without any, the land masses, without countries on there. Nothing wrong with countries in terms of nothing wrong with living with a neighbor and you have your yard and their yard and a fence or not a fence. Nothing's wrong with that. But it's still cool to have that. And then the NASA from space view. And then here's the world, or the earth, with countries on it. So we're open to whatever. They all have their part and in their context. So information literacy action processor, and the theme is going to be psychological warfare, info war. Very similar as to what they are. And there's a lot of psychological warfare and it's information war for this 2020 presidential election. A lot of misinformation and disinformation. And this system shows you how you can get good value from information. So that's our theme for tonight. So let's see, we'll start with information literacy is the ability to extract, accept, and create good value from needed information sources. Then the critical thinking code, AACCRR, or double A at the double A to the double C to the double R, thank you, George, equals V at GT and M, which equals value at good or goal, time, and miscellaneous. Anything we're missing gets put in that category. And so this critical thinking code, double A to the double C to the double R, is accurate or authentic, access, context, clear, relevant, refined, equals value. This is how you get value from information. But none of that means anything unless you have moral, ethical intelligence. Because you can have, look at history, all the evil that was committed with very bright, logical, mathematical people and verbal linguistic has caused all kinds of problem in the world because they didn't have moral, ethical intelligence. So I've broken up intelligence into 10 categories, so you can pause that if you want to see how I broke. It's based on Howard Gardner from Harvard University, his theory of multiple intelligences, I think from the 80s, and he broke it down into 7, but then he said it could be sliced up in various ways, and I think he added a few since then. So, what are we at? Almost halfway. So, every time you're considering a problem, a subject, a decision, a topic, an issue, a focus, a theme, these factors, these 6, are always there. And there's other factors too. So what I have: appropriate, anti, concept, compare and contrast, complete, caring, customized, choice, all that. But these are the big 6. These are the 6 most important. I think somebody else has something called the big 6. So I will take that back. But you got the double A to the double C to the double R is how you get value. So getting accurate or not information is very important. And with all this misinformation and disinformation, this is so important. Excuse me. What do you have access to? So if you know about the concept access, then you are addressing, with a question, with a decision, there's information we don't have yet. We don't have access to it. And so that's, you might be able to hold off on your decision. But if it's timely, then you might have to make a decision knowing you didn't have access to every piece of all the factors that you wanted for your decision or the problem that you had. So these 6, double A to the double C to the double R, is the critical thinking code, but it's critical and creative thinking code. So it's actually C squared TC, critical thinking code or creative thinking code. I forgot to mention that. So it's got to be good. That's the moral intelligence. Whatever it doesn't really have value if it causes problems. And then you should have a goal. And then timely is very important. You could get it all done and it's too late. And then miscellaneous would be anything you can think of that's not covered here. So psychological warfare and info war is what's happening right now during the election. Whether you're, no matter who you voted for or what side you're on, and we'll talk about the Hegelian dialectic at another time, because that's all, well, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, wherever you are with whatever you voted or didn't vote, everyone would agree that there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation about the election. Or most people would agree that there's too much. I think everyone who's sincere, or whoever you voted for, knows that there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation, because my thesis of my book is that it's very difficult to get good, reliable information. That's the thesis. And the more that's at stake, like the 2020 USA presidential election, a lot is at stake. So you're going to have even more misinformation and disinformation, psychological warfare and information warfare. And that's going to make it even harder for everyday people, the ones who are voting, we the people, to get good, reliable information. I'm going to see if I can see where Anton Zeilinger, I guess you can look at the book where his quote is. There it is. So you can even read it, so you could pause this right here. Page, I need my glasses. I forgot my glasses. Page 28. I'm in teaching mode and I forgot my glasses. They're next to my bed. So it is operationally impossible. Let me see if I can get this. You know what? I'm going to have to get a different book. I have another book that's easier to hold open. So I'm not operating properly. It's operationally impossible to separate reality and information. Professor Anton Zeilinger, quantum information physicist. There you go. So he's saying that information is the most fundamental thing. We'll call it. So I'm looking at the time, so I want to get in or around 10 minutes, so we'll wrap that up. But this system will help you get value during the election, during making a decision about what you're going to do tomorrow, for any subject you're looking up in school. Okay, so you got that. So here, oh yeah, that's right, I have to grade. I'm going to give a grade to the regular media again. I'm just going to do it because not everyone's who watched my previous videos, my lesson number 1, lesson number 2, is watching this one. The media gets a D, they get a, excuse me, they get an F. And it's probably 20%. Is that the right one? Anyway, because it's terrible and there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation in the regular media. You want independent media that doesn't have not being told what to say. But anyway, and then on this scale, psychological warfare and info war is in the top 10 of things that affect people and cause problems and death and destruction. Bad psychological warfare and info war can destroy things. Good can make things incredible. So that's why it's in the top 10. We're wrapping it up. Thank you for lesson number 3. And you're awesome. And there you go. And thank you.